Hi there Power Ranger fans, it's time for another Power Rangers Dino Supercharge toy review with me, Admin GoldKingRanger from the GoldKingRanger team. And in this video we will be reviewing the Power Rangers Dino Supercharge Stunt Cycles. Yes, I know you probably have already noticed that there is a Dino Cycle, but we'll get to that. Okay, so we have 3 Stunt Cycles and a Dino Cycle. So we have the TRex Supercharge Red Ranger Cycle, Aqua Ranger Cycle, Silver Ranger Cycle, and TRex Supercharge Red Ranger Dino Cycle. Okay, so what makes these cycles a little different from the Dino Cycles? Well, they're pretty cool because they can do some pretty awesome things. But what we're going to do first is have a look at them individually, and then I'll show you what they can do on their own and what they can do with the Zord Builder parts. Because, surprisingly, oh my goodness, they're Zord Builder compatible. But we'll get to that. So, first things first, let's begin by having a look at each individual cycle. Okay, so first up we have the TRex Supercharge Red Ranger Dino Stunt Cycle. Okay, so as to be expected from the Dino Cycles figures, you only have a pretty basic, only slightly painted figure. But mind you, I think it's only because the main feature is just the cycle. But mind you, you could always just get your normal Dino Charge figures and put them on the cycles because you can pretty much ride them. I don't know about pink and purple Ranger figures because they got the skirts and they kind of limit the leg articulation, but still pretty cool. So let's put him back on there. So the Dino Stunt Cycles pretty much has the same sort of colour design as the Dino Cycles, so the yellow and the black, which is pretty cool. Now you probably noticed that this wheel here is a little different to that wheel. What's that noise, I hear you ask? Well, we're going to get to that. We're going to get to that later, but for now, right, so that's the Super TRex Charge Cycle. Let's move on to the next Dino Stunt Cycle. Okay, so the next cycle we have is Aqua Ranger. And this is pretty cool because it's nice to have a different Ranger instead of having red and blue and black. Well, I never did a cycle for green. Girl. Oh well, never mind. Right, so yes, to be expected, the figure is pretty basic with just the helmet part painted with the black and the silver and no other paint detail, but it's a nice aqua. I do like the colour. It's a nice aqua cyan colour. Now as for the cycle itself, it's got a nice sort of bronzy gold, red and aqua colour, which is pretty cool. So they all basically have the same mould, it's just different colour schemes depending on the Ranger. Okay, so that's the Aqua Cycle done, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so here's cycle number 3. It is the Silver Cycle. Woo! Awesome. So we have the Silver Ranger, and his colour scheme of his cycle is, as you can see, yellow, white, blue, and a bit of silver. So this figure itself, again, pretty basic. Yellow teeth, the silver, and the black. Yep, pretty much. Pretty basic. It's a nice silver. I like it. Would be nice if it was like a chromy, shiny silver, but there you go. Cycle itself, as I said before, it's a scheme of red, yellow, blue, white and a bit of silver. It's basically the colour scheme of his morpher and weapons. So let's put... Okay, so that's the Silver Cycle. Let's move on to the final cycle. Okay, so cycle number 4 is the TRex Supercharge Dino Cycle. Now, this is basically just a repainted Dino Cycle, so a different variety from the Gold Ranger Cycle. Because if you remember from the Dino Charge Wave 2 Dino Cycles review we've done, the Gold Ranger Cycle had this exact model, or mould rather, and it still had all the same features, just a different colour. So the figure is exactly the same as the stunt bike one, but what we're going to do is have a look at the cycle. So as you can see, it's a nice green and a purple. I do like this colour scheme. And of course, just like the gold one, you pull this bit out and it can be used as a weapon, to which either your Dino Charge figures or these figures can hold. See? So you got like a bladed weapon, which is a bit cool. Okay, so let's put that back on. Unfortunately, well, these cycles don't really do the revving, spinning, going forward action that the stunt bikes can do, but can it? Failed. Oh dear, poor Red. Anyway, so what we're going to do now is have a look at the stunt bikes and see exactly what they can do. Now what we're going to do is have a look at the Dino Stunt Cycles and see what they can do on this surface. Well, okay, so what we're going to do is bring up the 3 cycles that we have. So we have red, aqua, and silver. Getting them in the view. So bring the cycles in. I'm going to try this, but let's see if we can get them all to go at the same time. I'll try, but here we go. So I'm going to grab them all, and then all you got to do is you rev them at the back wheel like this, and then oops. Oh God. I think I'm going to have to do them individually. So red, go. Aqua, go. Oops. Silver, go. He's pushed. Oh. Oh my goodness. Basically, that's the fun thing you can do with these stunt cycles is you can race your friends. If your friends have these cycles, you can have races with them, and that's what's so fun about these cycles is you can race against your friends, which is brilliant. Alright, oh dear, Silver Ranger's looking a little bit dazed a bit at the moment, but let's bring the cycles back in, shall we? Don't even think of it. Right, that's the problem when you're on this service. Now they're like, quickly try and get away, must get away, he's hurting us. Okay, so I'm just gonna, oh dear, oh, now this tends to happen, there we go. So we're gonna move these back a bit because I want to let the other cycle have a go, because it doesn't have the revving action, but you can use your Dino Cycles, but they just will, it will fall over. At least you can race, but I'd just say these are a lot better for racing against your friends and stuff. So what we're going to do is I'm going to tidy this lot up, and then we're going to get ready for the next bit, which is the Zord Builder parts. Okay, so we've got the black TRex Zord in Megazord mode, but let me just move this up so you can see that a little better and zoom out slightly. Okay, so what we're going to do is bring in the cycles. And what we're going to do is get them ready. So we don't need the figures, so we can take those off. And then what we're going to do is, there's 2 ways you can do this with the stunt bikes, is you can use them as foot or arms, but what we're going to do is do 2 of them as arms, well, 2 of them as feet, and then 2 of them and 1 of them as an arm. Right, let's get these out of the way. There we go. Okay, so let's begin. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make these 2 arms and these 2 legs. So to make them into legs, what you've got to do is simply push and flip this over until it connects into here, like that. And you want to do the same again. So you've got a left and a right, see? And then what we're going to do is take your Zord, and then as you see, you've got pegs, peg clippers and a peg hole. So what we're going to do is, you've got to make sure they line up, and you want to clip them like that, and do the same again on the other. Oop. I'm going to do this like that. Oop. Okay. takes a little while getting used to, but there you go. Okay, so you could do it like that and then have obviously different Zord arms. So I'm just gonna try and zoom out, but it's gonna be tricky because it does add a bit of, makes it a little bit taller. So I'm just gonna zoom out and then just raise it up a bit so you can still see it somewhat. But you know, in a little better view. That should do it. Okay, so to do these into arms, we're going to have to take the back tail off and the head. Ooh, and then goes the leg. Unfortunately, that does tend to happen because they're not really that, they're not always necessarily that secured. So I'm going to try. I do apologise about this. I'm trying to be as quick as I can. There we go. And then what we're going to do is, because we don't have the back bit, if you had the Dino Charge Megazord, the red with the red T-Rex Zord, you would have to take off the back piece and then flip it over so it was triangular at the back, so it was pointing upwards instead of pointing down. So what we're going to do is flip this over and then attach it. You don't necessarily have to flip it, but I find it's easier like that. And then I'm going to find the other peg. Oh god, there we go. This combination just seems slightly odd, but ooh, a bit of a strain. Sorry while I strain. Just gonna try, that falls off again, and then you simply plug them into the peg holes like that. This will go back in there. At this point I'm going to have to super glue this thing just to get it to stay in place. Make sure that, there we go. So I call this the Dino Charge Megazord Dino Stunt Cycle formation. Ready. Now obviously the cool thing about this cycle is you can get it to roll along. So I'm just going to turn it to the side. It's got rollerblades. It's the rollerblade Megazord. Woo! Which is pretty cool. So let's just get that to stand still. Excellent. This is pretty cool. Okay, now the time has come to finish up this review and debrief and so on. Well, that's it for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this review just as I had much fun making it. It's so fantastic to see these amazing cycles. It is sad to say that the Dino Supercharge toys are coming to an end, because in July, Power Rangers Ninja Steel toys are coming out. Woo! And we at GoldKingRanger are very much looking forward to reviewing all the toys that we get in the UK of Power Rangers Ninja Steel. So this is going to be fantastic. Okay, so thank you guys for watching, and may the power protect you always, and see you next time. Bye bye, Ranger fans.